So, avid viewers of the channel know that my knowledge about military aviation is very limited. So despite the very real possibility of me making a fool of myself in this episode, we will take a look at this military bird. With that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where today we'll take a closer look at a Boeing C-17A Globemaster 3 of the US Air Force. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the model inside, and then on top of that we have the insignia or rondelle of the USAF and the crest of the unit the aircraft belongs to. On the back side of the box we then find two more coat of arms or crests, and we can also find a lovely image of the aircraft in real life, as well as a web link where we supposedly can get more information about the aircraft model, which however does not work anymore, and we can see it is a limited edition. And here she is, the Boeing C-17A Globemaster 3 of the United States Air Force. Now, the Boeing C-17 was actually originally developed by McDonnell Douglas from the 1980s to the early 1990s, and supposedly is the newest and most versatile transport aircraft in the fleet of the US Air Force. Now, Herpa has over the years actually made quite a few C-17 aircraft models in scale 500 and also quite a few in the colors of the US Air Force. This, however, is the latest US Air Force model, at least, which was produced by Herpa Wings in 2018. So now that we have covered that, let's see what the aircraft model itself has to offer, and we start off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer find a bunch of different things. And of course I'm not an expert, but I will try to do my best here. The colorful line, as far as I know, indicates the home of the aircraft, basically where it's stationed, which is in this case on Hawaii. Underneath that we have, of course, the flag of the United States of America. Then we have two letters, HH, which I'm not entirely sure what they mean, but underneath that we actually have some numbers, and that's the registration code of the aircraft. Of course, with the C-17, the horizontal stabilizer is mounted on top of the vertical stabilizer, and I think Herpa has done a pretty decent job with that, also adding a little bit of detailing here. On the fuselage we then find the rondelle or insignia of the USAF, and next to that we have some squares printed on, and we've actually also seen them on the vertical stabilizer, and we'll see them across the aircraft and other places. My suspicion is that it could have something to do with some defensive systems of the aircraft, so protecting itself against, well, rockets and stuff like that, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe you know, let me know in the comment section below. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage, we then have the writing of US Air Force. Then we also have, again, these crests or coat of arms that we also found on the box, as well as the writing of Spirit of Hawaii. We also, again, have the registration code of the aircraft, and underneath that, some markings which I believe, again, indicate like which units this aircraft has been assigned to. I do apologize that I cannot say it more specifically, but I'm just not an expert in military aviation. But overall, the detailing here is actually rather nice. Also around the cockpit section, Herpa has done really well in replicating the cockpit window configuration, has also added the window wipers, of course, and also, for example, when we look at the top of the fuselage, we have some nice printed detailing here. Then we can move on to the engines, or more specifically the engine nacelles. Obviously they have the same grey coating as the rest of the aircraft and have the silver leading edge printed on, but no other printed details here. But I'm not complaining about it because the real aircraft looks just like that. Then, of course, also we have some lovely physical detailing with these engines, especially when we look into the front, where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. Then we can move on to the top-mounted wings of this aircraft model, which definitely also do deserve a little bit of time, because when we look here, we can see on one side we have the rondelle of the USAF printed on the other side it's written on. We also see the different flaps and spoilers carved out very nicely, and have overall quite a bit of nice markings and detailing across the wings. The same goes for the underside, again here with the rondelle and the USAF writing and some lovely physical detailing. And also here on this aircraft, actually, that has some winglets, which look really fantastic in my opinion. Where Herpa is also doing really well with this aircraft model is actually with the landing gear. In my opinion, this looks really awesome. Great physical detailing around the main landing gear, but also the front landing gear looks pretty decent in my opinion. Then I also noted here a little print on the side of the aircraft. This could be a landing light, could be maybe the APU exhaust. I'm not entirely sure, but what I also noticed here is some physical detailing, which I'm pretty sure is the RAM air intake. On the belly of the aircraft, we then have the usual hole in the fuselage for a stand, which is not included with this aircraft model, which is a little bit disappointing, but okay. Then we of course also have the main cargo hatch at the back of the aircraft, and here I think Herpa has also done a very good job in actually recreating this part of the aircraft. It almost looks like it could be interactive. It is unfortunately not, but it looks very, very nice. So there we have it, the Boeing C-17A Globemaster 3 of the US Air Force from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Herpa has a tradition for making really nice military aircraft in scale 500. And at least from a layman's point of view, I would say they have also done so here. At least there are plenty of both printed and physical details that you can look at and really spend some time with, because the model really has a lot to offer. If Herpa had just put half as much effort into their civilian aircraft as they do with these military aircraft, we would probably not have anything to complain about. Let me just give you an example here. Let's take a look at the top side of the fuselage. Look just how lovely the detailing here is. On a civilian aircraft, Herpa would probably have left away all these things. But it just adds so much to an aircraft to have these details, even if it's just in the print, because details like that really bring an aircraft model to life. So if I try to conclude this video, and it's not easy because obviously I am a layman when it comes to military aircraft, so I might have overlooked something. Maybe Herpa has made a major mistake with this model and I have just not noticed. If so, then feel free to let me know in the comment sections below. I would very much appreciate to see and hear what you have thoughts about this aircraft model. But from my point of view, I actually think it's a very enjoyable aircraft model, and definitely worth having in one's collection if you are into military aviation. So with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.